What is the best game you've ever played? There was a neighborhood game of Omanunto I played about 25 years ago on a late summer evening. Maybe a week or two before school was going to start. I can remember the smell of the evening dew on the grass. There were about 20 kids playing, and for the first time in my life I was not scared to crawl through this drain pipe that a creek went through in our suburban NG neighborhood, and I executed a team jailbreak and we won. Then we grilled hot dogs and at Samoa's. Edit. It was actually Manhunt, not Flashlight Tag. Commenter below reminded me of the name. We had flashlights because it was dark. One of my favorite childhood memories was playing capture the flag with my cousins growing up. I have a big family, and at the larger parties we had about 15 or 16 cousins all playing, with the back and fronted split roughly down the middle. We rotated who hosted, so each house had different good hiding spots and escape routes for each team. It was the most strategic yet physically challenging we played together. Like a real life online match, where you never have the same team twice. It was the most fun I ever had at a family party before I got old enough to drink in front of the adults. Damn, I miss those carefree days. The Outer Wilds. The less you know going into the game, the better. Just don't confuse it with *the Outer Worlds, which is a very different and unrelated game. I'm passively trying to forget Outer Wilds so I can play it again. I made the mistake of reading a guide after getting stuck like halfway through. I cannot emphasize this enough. Do not read what to do from a guide. It completely breaks the game. I heard there was some new DLC as well. I need to check that out. I came here for this very comment. There always is someone whose favorite game is Outer Wilds. It is mine too. I've heard good things about this game. And then eventually tried the Outer Worlds. I was very disappointed. Now, I know that I gave the wrong game a chance. I genuinely think that this game will pave the way for an entire new genre of games. Whether you like or dislike the game, it sets out to do something that no other game has ever done, and it pulls it off near perfectly. It's a complete masterpiece, and the fact they pulled it off again with the DLC puts Mobius at the upper levels of gaming devs in my eyes. Wondering how many Outer Wilds fans also like Rain World. Those are my two favorite games. Both are really good games I would happy buy again. Unfortunately I do not have the patience to fully explore the Outer Wilds, but regardless it is still a masterpiece with an incredible soundtrack. AoE 2. Still playing this 20 years after it was released. And then also Rome, Total War and Medieval 2nd Total War. Endless hours of campaigning. Medieval 2nd was awesome. I was literally just thinking, AoE 2 has to be up there. But no way it will be near the top on this thread. Such a great game that has really done well to stick around. It was one of the first PC games I ever played, and my nerdy middle school friends and I have some great memories. Anyone remember the Microsoft Gaming Zone for online matches? OMG. Chrono Trigger. All of the gamma play design elements are close to flawless. The story is integrated well with the gamma play, and it is simple enough of a plot that it can pull off complex themes along with interesting narrative devices, not to mention the soundtrack. An unrivaled combination of talent for its time, and a slew of other things. I can probably talk about how great this game is for days. Played almost every rendition of Chrono Trigger, currently playing it on PC. My favorite has to be the DS version. Took the added features from the PSX version without the horrible load times. Plus added even more content and an extra dungeon, bringing it even closer to Chrono Cross. The game literally never gets old for me. Knights of the Old Republic. There are better games, but this is my favorite. I can never get sick of replaying. Scared of how they'll treat the remake, but I'm up for it. I'm looking forward to the remake. Here's to them not screwing it up. Cotter 2 here. I absolutely love Cotter, but it is super dated, and the combat system could use some modernization. I'm really excited for the remake. Portal 2. Best story and puzzle game out there. Portal 2 has one of my favorite moments in all of gaming. It's a huge spoiler to talk about it openly, so I spoiler tagged my thoughts on it below. Anyone who hasn't played Portal 2 should do it. It regularly goes on sale for like $2 on Steam sales. Greater than sign. When you shoot the moon at the end is one of the coolest moments in all of gaming. The way they don't tell you what to do, but nearly 100% of people that play it realize exactly what has to happen is incredible. They spend parts of the game teaching you that moon dust is what makes surfaces able to support portals. And so when you see the moon, the idea pops into your head to try and shoot the moon. I remember thinking, no way, this is actually what they want me to do. Portal 2 also has some of the best dialogue writing of any game I've played. It's legitimately hilarious. In Portal 1, the developer commentary points out just how hard the devs worked to make the player understand how the game worked. They definitely took that to heart in a lot of ways in Portal 2. But the game also forces you to look at the moon during the final fight, so it is a pretty easy thing to conclude, even if you had not been listening to Cave Johnson's mad ravings. Alright, now to check your vocal abilities are still functional. No, that's jumping. I think you may have a slight, very minor case of severe brain damage. They definitely took that to heart in a lot of ways in Portal 2. But the game also forces you to look at the moon during the final fight, so it is a pretty easy thing to conclude, even if you had not been listening to Cave Johnson's mad ravings. Alright, now to check your vocal abilities are still functional. No, that's jumping. I think you may have a slight, very minor case of severe brain damage. Red Dead Redemption 2. Can't believe how far I had to scroll for the sequel / Zelda Ocarina of Time. Just a classic. This was the first game I beat with 100% completion. I absolutely love this game. The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. I feel like no other game competes on the pure emotion you feel when playing for the first time. Truly a masterpiece. Cannot wait until the sequel. My non-gaming wife finished this game. She also just started a replay a few weeks ago. Great game. Spyro the Dragon. Was stoked when the remastered versions came out. I only ever played the original. Ahaha. Skyrim. I did not play Skyrim until years after it came out, but I still would say it impacted me a lot. I had to scroll farther than I thought to find it here. Witcher 3. The campaign is just so good. 100%. Heart of Stone is an absolute masterpiece story-wise, and Blood and Wine is mesmerizing in its visuals, but the Bloody Baron storyline can hold its own too. Just so much detail and world building in that game that you cannot help but get lost in it. I beat the game years back, but didn't end up doing either of the DLC. Are they worth going back and completing? I did love the game. I was a bit burned out by how much I played it at the time, haha. Bloodborne. God of War 2018. When I was growing up, I played this game called Grim Fandango that was so weird and kooky. Never found anything like it since. Have you ever played Day of the Tentacle or any of the Monkey Island games? All made by LucasArts and Thea, are all great fun. Disco Elysium is a game you would love. Dark Souls. Hollow Knight, my man. Came to the comments in search of this, a fellow intellectual. Red Dead Redemption 2. Would consider it to have the best storyline till now. I agree with you. The game tells its story so well. The environment is incredible. Just a game that really impressed me start to finish. Morrowind. Been thinking of getting this and Oblivion just to play all three of the recent Elder Scrolls games for the first time. Is it a good idea? Totally a good idea. For Morrowind anyway, I played Skyrim for years and finally picked up Morrowind a couple years back. And I wish I had played it sooner. It is a way more interesting world in my opinion. I have not played Oblivion yet, but I am sure it is a good time too. Morrowind can be a little difficult to get started with due to its age. It just plays very differently from more recent games, so in some ways that is good. In some ways it is bad. I'd recommend getting it on PC and being ready to mod, so you can adjust things if they really get under your skin. A common complaint is that attack accuracy is based on a dice roll type of system rather than a visual if your weapon touches them they take damage system. And of course there are a few things that did not age well socially / culturally. Obviously a personal call for if that is something you can overlook as times changing or if it will ruin the game for you. Just know there are some mods to tweak these things as well, if you so choose. Minecraft. I actually believe Minecraft is the greatest game of all time simply because there's really no limit to what you can do. The redstone people have put together is mind-boggling. Already one of the most replayable games of all time, but when you add mods to it, literally as close to endless fun and discovery as you can get with a video game. Mass Effect, especially 2. Star Wars Battlefront 2 on my PS2. I used to play that shit for hours at my Grand Mothra's house, and sometimes my dad would even join in. Enemy reinforcement are diminishing. Asterisk. Magic, The Gathering. I don't play much, but I once drew a sort of feast and famine from a pack when the Kaladesh series came out. My partner was so jealous, lol. My proud moment. Banjo and Kazooie will always be one of my favorite games. The game is humorous and charming, but knows when to play it serious. It's the only game I've gone out of my way to not only ready all the dialogue, but get extra tidbits of information like from Grunty's sister. In terms of platforming, it's not the best. Games like Mario 64 are a lot better in that regard, but the sheer wit, charm, character, atmosphere, and music in Banjo and Kazooie is so dang memorable, and their reception in Smash despite not getting a new game since I 2008 is a testament to how beloved the N64 games were. The Diablo 2nd remake also reminds me of how perfectly addicting that game is. Is it a little outdated in some areas? Sure. Inventory space and potion management can feel tedious at times, and melee hit detection is a joke, but all Blizzard had to do was give it a fresh coat of paint and the game still feels so damn addicting. A shame they can't seem to figure out server stability at the moment. TF2. Interpret that how you want. Titan Fortress 2. I think there is a strong argument for Half-Life Alyx_ as both a long-awaited new chapter in the series and an amazing exploration of what can be done with current VR tech. God, so amazing and immersive. Having grown up on HL, it's just phenomenal. Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne. 4 aces. Perfectly balanced. Endless fun. Rest in peace WC3 feet. You have been me pseudo vertical bar greatly. Buzz off. Blizzard. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Minecraft. Dark Souls and Bloodborne. We are born of the blood. Made men by the blood. Undone by the blood. Our eyes are yet to open. Fear the old blood. So 5. So 4 was excellent. 2. In very different ways. Also way more modding potential, including several total conversion mods that change absolutely everything. Kerbal Space Program. That shit will change your life. It's a game, but is sneaky and teaches you things like problem solving, trying and failing until you succeed, and physics. Downside is that all space movies will now send you into a rage with their inaccuracies. Halo Reach. The game itself is not perfect, but I just had the funniest times playing on it with my friends. When everything seemed achievable. When time wasn't an issue and everything was fun. Do more Silent Hill 2. Outer Wilds. It was one of those rare game-changing games where after it was over I really couldn't think of anything else like it. Everyone has their own tastes, but everyone should play Outer Wilds. I bought this and played maybe an hour of it, but couldn't get into it. I thought the controls and frame rate were pretty bad, and I couldn't tell where I was supposed to go next. Given how much praise I've heard for the game, I want a convincing reason to jump back in and try again. What am I missing out on by not playing it through? Titanfall 2, I still think it deserves more recognition. Witcher 3. Final Fantasy 7. GD Knight. Dark Forces 2. Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door. Original Paper Mario on the 64 is my favorite game of all time. Never got to play this one. Commander Keen. Hollow Knight. Katten. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt hands down. Tekken 3. Metal Gear Solid. Borderlands. Hide the Pickle. Ghost of Tsushima. The graphics for my shit PlayStation is quite amazing and does not lag. Very little glitches, to my knowledge at least. Undertale. GoldenEye on the N64. Return of the Obradin. Non-video game. D&D. Video game. Dishonored. Celeste. Mario dreams they could make such a great second platformer. To be a bit more specific. World of Warcraft between 2007/2010. Kingdom of Amalur. Reckoning. Bioshock. And Fable 2nd. Fallout New Vegas. Because no one else will admit it. Jak and Daxter. Inside. Shadow of the Colossus. Og Destiny. I bought it on PS4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. I played well over 1000 hours across all platforms and ran Vault of Glass and Crotas and more times than I can count. Then, they broke Destiny by making named exotics meaningless. Hide the sausage. Judging by the other comments, it is obvious that most Redditors have never played it. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Strip poker in my apartment in 2012 vs 2 very attractive ladies. Let's just say we all won that night. Carmageddon 1. Warcraft 3. Sekiro. Love all the FromSoft games, but that combat in Sekiro was so satisfying after getting the hang of it. BioShock Infinite had me the most invested in the story. League of Legends had me most addicted to playing. Call of Duty Modern Warfare had me playing the most. The Curse of Monkey Island had me the most amused. Psychonauts had me enjoying every second of it. Dying Light. Probably the best zombie game. Probably Nier Automata. Nier is just so incredible. Only games I've played that made me cry. Morrowind. A Battletech were all the rage back in the 90s. Soul series. Brutally addictive. Final Fantasy X. Rocket League. It's like crack but more healthy.